Hey friends, this is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead. Well, I found fresh eggs, so I'm oiling them and putting them away for winter. Because when you do it this way, they last 9 months. Many of you will remember me mentioning the local stand down the road. So I stopped. One of these was actually cracked, but I stopped on my way to town and asked them, or asked the young lad there, Esteban, how much the eggs were. Now folks, these eggs were $7 a dozen. There's another cracked one. I'm going to take pictures and take them back. These are young eggs too. Now these were in a cooler. Always inspect your eggs, folks. The only reason I knew that was cracked is because there's condensation because they were in a cooler and you can actually see the water soaking into the egg. All right, so always check your eggs. Now these eggs were kept in a cooler. Totally unnecessary actually for fresh eggs. But what I'm doing now is I'm decanting them out of these cartons because these cartons are damp. And I'm going to let these air dry. Why? You don't want to trap moisture between, you don't want to trap moisture. See the beaded moisture on these? Can you see that? You don't want to trap moisture. Always put your eggs point side down, folks. It keeps the yolk suspended. So anyway, these eggs were $7 a dozen. So I am now, there's another cracked egg. That's 3. So for $7, I'm going to be taking the picture back and letting them know that their eggs were defective. Some of them were defective. I wouldn't have minded so much if they were like $5 a dozen like they used to be. But these are small eggs, folks. And I paid $7 for them. I want my money's worth. So far, I have lost 3 eggs. So, and these are small eggs, too. So I'm just taking them all out here. Checking them all over for cracks. Those ones are no good. Whoa, I almost dropped them. I need to take a picture of them so I can show him the next time I go. And I need these to come up to room temperature so that they will dry. So I'm just going to let these sit out on the table until they come up to temperature. This is actually a lid for eggs. So when they're $7 a dozen, I'll be taking a picture and going back and saying you owe me 3 eggs. Because I don't know how long they've been cracked for in the carton, right? And I'm missing 3 right here. So when these are all dry, we'll be back. Okay, now these have been sitting at room temperature for about an hour and they're nice and dry. And I'm going to commence to oiling them. Now folks, oh shoot, these 3 I've brought out of my fridge from my own hens, but now they've got to dry. So what I'm going to do now is, what they do in the plants where they package eggs is they come in, they get washed, make sure your hands are really clean, they get washed, and then when they're air dried, they get lightly coated with mineral oil. I would rather use food grade oil, and guess what? As long as it's lightweight, it'll be fine. And it doesn't take much. You just sit here and you oil the eggs. And then these are going to go into my pantry fridge. Like I said, always check. There's nothing worse than washing your hands and starting to oil eggs and then have one break on you. So once these are, what this does is, when eggs are laid, they have what is called a bloom on them. The bloom is a coating that as it comes out of the chicken's bottom, the bloom, it protects the egg so that mama can sit on it and hatch it. The egg has to be able to breathe. But when you wash eggs, like I used to be able to just, I'm just going to do this. I used to be able to just bring my eggs in and set them on the counter. Why? Because they had the bloom on them. When you wash them, you wash the bloom off, and that leaves the eggs, pores, open to the elements and to spoilage. So these are very fresh eggs. Now they were washed, and now I'm oiling them. And they will be good in the fridge. Make sure you well coat them, okay? They will be good up to 9 months because we're sealing the pores. All right? I've tried water glassing them, never had any luck. Wasted dozens of eggs because they didn't take. And once these are all oiled, they'll go in the cartons and they will be dated best before January 1st. No, best before, what is this? July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. I'm going to say best before March. But they're actually pretty good till April. All right? Make sure every pore is sealed with oil. Do not do this with store-bought egg. That one was also cracked, so we're up to 4 cracked eggs. And I will tell them that I have it on video if they want to argue the fact. You can squeeze. All right. If the egg has a flaw, you cannot squeeze it. You can't break it in your grip. Okay? If you break it in your grip, it's because there was a flaw in the shell. So that is 4 cracked eggs, and I will let them know that at $7 a dozen, 4 cracked eggs, and it was just down the road, folks. It was literally quite just down the road, and they were put into a brown paper shopping bag, put on the front seat, and brought straight in the house. I did not damage these eggs in any way. It's probably because they were in a cooler and they may have gotten rattled. This should tell you how serious I am about not going out this winter. And I'm not overwintering my chickens. And you will find when you take these out of the fridge later on down the road, they'll look dry, just like the ones in the store. Why? Because it absorbs the oil. That's kind of why I don't want to use mineral oil, you know what I mean? This is no different than what I'd be doing if I had a lot of laying hens producing right now. So there we go, 5 dozen eggs. This is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying I may not have laying hens or a lot of laying hens anymore, but I still know where to get fresh eggs and how to preserve them for winter. Take care, God bless.